planning an event and you are trying to convince your speakers, or maybe you're the event planner and you're trying to convince the event host that you need a rehearsal? Well, I have this little hack that I have used just by changing up a few little things that has helped me be successful with encouraging my speakers and my hosts and my clients to make sure that they're having those crucial pre-event rehearsals. I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer. I do want to encourage you to like, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell so you get notified every single Monday when I drop new videos. I talk all about event production, event planning, running your own business, a lot of videos about Zoom, and much, much more. If you're also a fan of free content, I am the co-host of the Better Events podcast. I host it with fellow event pro Mary Davidson, and these episodes we drop every single Wednesday across all podcast platforms. We also have a YouTube channel if you want to watch the video or have it playing in the background. But these are 30-minute episodes that dive deeper into some of the topics that I've talked about in my videos. I highly encourage you to give it a listen. Again, it's free. It's there for you to consume and learn more about events. So we were talking about event rehearsals, and maybe this is something that you are struggling to convince stakeholders, speakers, your client, your event host, your colleagues to do an event rehearsal. And again, I have a video about the two different kinds of rehearsals I highly encourage, but this is my hack that I have used with C-suite speakers, Hall of Famers, celebrities, you name it. I have used this to get them to do a rehearsal. And what I've done is I've actually stopped calling it a rehearsal. I started calling them tech checks. This has been such a game changer for me with how then my speakers see it, because I feel like when they hear the word rehearsal, they think that I don't trust them as a speaker and I think they need to practice. While maybe that might be the case, often it's not. It is truly that we want to do that rehearsal, which we're now going to call a tech check, is an opportunity for us to check their microphone, make sure their slides work. I do them for my virtual clients too. So in Zoom, can you share your screen if you want to? Can you see the chat? All the functions, anything you want to do on stage, virtually, hybrid, in person, I want to practice that. And so that's where the tech check is a little more helpful, I would say, maybe when you're trying to convince someone how crucial these are, because I love to do multiple rehearsals or multiple tech checks. And often I'll get pushback because usually people just don't want to do it because it takes time and maybe their time is really valuable. And this is, again, this wording change has been extra helpful with converting those folks who are very time limited to doing it. And so what's really important is making sure that you do your own tech rehearsal with the tech team or anybody else who's helping on the production front ahead of that speaker arriving. So then you can have those tech checks be as efficient as possible. Now, it really varies. No matter if you're doing a webinar or if you're doing like a multi-million-dollar conference, work with your client or the person who would know your speakers the most with how much time they want to do those tech checks. Some speakers, they just want 10 minutes. They want to stand on stage, plug their mic, get their microphone put on, testing 1, 2, 3, click, 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 I'm done. Other people really do want to actually walk through, and it starts to really feel like a true rehearsal where they want to walk through everything. And that's fine, but that's going to take more closer to 30 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on how complex. And so for you as the event producer or the event manager, you want to make sure you're managing expectations of how much time is needed for these tech checks and rehearsals. That's another thing I've seen that happens is sometimes they'll run over, or you'll have your team just kind of sitting around. It's probably better to have them sitting around than running over, because that's where you might start running into overtime and like budget implications for running late. Hopefully that small word tweak for you is going to create some magic, because for me, just going from calling them rehearsals to tech checks has been such a game changer that like I would never go back. I think it's still, I'll call things rehearsals maybe by a slip of the tongue and often for myself. But now anytime I'm talking to a speaker, I will say, this is a tech check. It'll also help you avoid those tech checks where maybe you have your entire, especially in person, if you have a ton of tech operators there, you've got your slides, you got your graphics, your notes operator, your lighting, your video, everyone is there. And then all of a sudden you're spending an hour with the person on stage talking through, oh, wait, can we go back? I want slide 3 to really be where slide 4 is. And actually, let's delete these slides. And maybe what topic should I talk about on this slide? You know, those are truly content rehearsal questions. And often you could do those without the entire team there. That could help you save money. Same thing for, again, if you're doing a smaller, like a workshop or a webinar in Zoom, you don't need to have everybody on your team working through that. That doesn't feel like a tech rehearsal. That's more a content rehearsal. But you could still be called a tech check if that's how you can get your speaker to stand in. My other hack would be if you cannot get your actual speaker, your C-suite person, again, these are folks who are really busy, really high up, or maybe just it's not in budget to bring them in a day early for a tech check. If you're able to have anybody from their team join for them, someone who maybe has their ear and can give them the rundown of like, oh yeah, as they walk in the room on the event day, yep, that person's going to give you your mic. That's where you're going to stand. Like have that person come in and do a tech check. I did these virtually when we couldn't get a hold of some political folks that I did events for. We would have a member of their staff log in from their computer or at least their office so we could test their Wi-Fi. And we would walk them through a tech check with hopes that they would tell the main principal, the person that we're going to have speaking. But obviously, if you can get that person's butt in a seat on camera or in the room that you're doing the event, that is going to be the most efficient and set you up for success so you're not troubleshooting some of that small stuff on the event day. Because, I love to say it, but control the things you can control and create those backup plans during those tech checks, during those rehearsals, and your event day self and your event day talent will thank you. That's all I have for you folks. I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer. This has been another installment of my favorite tips and tricks when it comes to event planning and running your own business. I post new videos every single Monday, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye.